The Bloodline is about to cause some huge issues for WWE, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out what Bobby Lashley had to say, another female superstar that has vanished, and much more. Let's start things off with this update for the Bloodline and how they could cause some conflict in WWE down the line. Every time you think Roman Reigns and the Usos have peaked, they find another way to shatter the ceilings and keep going up. In 2021, the Bloodline looked dominant with Roman Reigns as Universal Champion and the Usos as SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But follow that up less than a year later, and all the Bloodline members have doubled their amount of titles and captured a majority of their Raw titles. What's going on with the Bloodline and their dominance they have over the championships in WWE could play a huge role in that direction for WWE. Like we talked about a few days ago, thanks to the Bloodline, there's now only one world champion and one set of tag team champions. We talked about how this could be the mark of the beginning of the end for WWE's brand split. Well, now, fans are bringing up another big question. If Roman Reigns and the Usos all hold their respective titles into the end of this year, what will happen with the Survivor Series event? And this is a really good question for the fans to bring up. WWE used to have a pay-per-view event named Bragging Rights, which was themed around the idea of Raw versus SmackDown. Then over the last few years, WWE sort of morphed Bragging Rights into the Survivor Series event. Now, Survivor Series was all of a sudden named with Raw versus SmackDown. It was a decent idea at first, but as years went by, fans started to realize that there was no high stakes or nothing really at risk with these Raw versus SmackDown editions of Survivor Series. All year long, no one really shows brand pride or how they're better than the other show over the other show. The only time superstars care about competing with opposite brands is during the few weeks leading up to Survivor Series. But immediately after the Survivor Series event ends, none of the results actually matter. No superstar ever brings up what happened at Survivor Series ever again. It doesn't matter if Raw wins or SmackDown wins because nothing's on the line. The winning brand doesn't get anything, and the losing brand doesn't lose anything. Some fans have suggested that they should set up a prize so that the winning brand of Survivor Series would get the #1 pick in the following year's WWE draft. Now that's a cool idea. It would give Raw versus SmackDown some purpose and something to actually compete for, at least, but it's something that WWE has never done. And the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown traditional Survivor Series matches aren't interesting at all because of the same reasons. Nothing matters, nothing's on the line. Look back at Survivor Series 2014 match, and that was absolutely amazing. A traditional Survivor Series match with the Authority's job on the line. That was a huge risk, high-stakes match that had fans on the edge of their seats. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown matches can't really give us the same level of excitement that the Authority's Survivor Series match gave us. But the point that fans brought up is that with the rumors of the brand split ending and the Bloodline members holding both Raw and SmackDown titles, how in the world is WWE gonna pull off a Raw vs. SmackDown theme in 2022? And that's true, if Bloodline holds their titles into Survivor Series season, it's gonna be impossible to do a Raw vs. SmackDown theme. So, for the fans who have been patiently waiting for the Raw vs. SmackDown theme for Survivor Series to end, it looks like we might finally get a new theme for the show in 2022. Of course, that event is months away, so it's still too early to tell. A lot can change, but the fans recently brought it up, and it was a good point. As far as a WWE update for Roman Reigns and the Usos, there's a lot of uncertainty there. The Usos are still around full-time, even appear on both Raw and SmackDown, so nothing should really change with them. They'll likely compete against Raw and SmackDown teams now that they're unified champions. The uncertainty is more with Roman Reigns. Roman won't be at Hell in a Cell. That's been known for several weeks. But now, Roman has been pulled from the advertising for the Money in the Bank event as well. So no one knows what that really means, besides the idea that he may not be a part of those shows. So if he's not going to be at Hell in a Cell or Money in the Bank, Roman's next title defense could very much be SummerSlam after all. Randy Orton and Riddle have been highly rumored as Roman's next few opponents, so we'll have to see if either of them step up to Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. So a lot of big upcoming WWE events look like they're about to go on without Roman Reigns. So WWE will have to put a lot of effort into some of the storylines to keep that interest high, because it would appear that they'll be without their world champion for the next few big events. So we'll have to keep our eye on Roman's status for those events. Another superstar who hasn't quietly gone missing in recent weeks is Zelina Vega. She was last seen right after WrestleMania, and her story with Carmella was left pretty open-ended. They broke up as a tag team, but then appeared with each other again the following week. So their tag team status is a mystery. They could be done as a tag team or appear again as a tag team because the answer isn't that clear there. But reports claim that Zelina Vega suffered a quiet injury that needed surgery. Her reported recovery time frame is 6 to 8 weeks. So for everyone wondering where Zelina and that whole Carmella story went, this appears to be the reason why. Zelina will be back in maybe a little over a month, and we'll see where they decide to take it from there. Zelina Vega and Carmella are rumored to take part in the women's tag team tournament, so we'll see if that's the plan for them after all. Bobby Lashley was recently a guest on The Bump and had a lot to say. We previously talked about the comments he made about wanting to face Brock Lesnar at next year's WrestleMania. Well, another topic that Lashley touched on was the lack of a world title being on Raw, and how he would like to face Roman as well. Bobby Lashley had this to say, quote, "We need a title on Raw. We need that world title at Raw. Right now, Roman's on top of this world. I'd like to get on that level. He can look at bringing that title over to Raw and giving me an opportunity to challenge for that. That's another really great matchup." End quote. And Lashley's right. It goes back to what we were just talking about with Roman's upcoming absences from these next few events. Before the unification match, Raw had a world title feud, SmackDown had a world title feud, and there were usually 2 huge world title matches at each premium live event that WWE can build the show around. But ever since the world title unification took place, Roman Reigns is now the only world champion, and there can only be 1 world title match at each of these events. But another huge issue is that Roman hasn't defended his title since the beginning of April at WrestleMania. So not only is there only 1 world champion, but that world champion isn't defending his title on a regular basis anymore. So it does put Raw and even SmackDown in a weird place right now, because there's no world title programs going on either of WWE's top 2 shows. So that's one of the voids that both shows have to deal with right now, the absence of a world title and main event program. Bobby Lashley is putting it out there that Raw needs a world title again, and he's willing to take on Roman Reigns to bring that title back to Raw. So we'll have to see how that turns out, but what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.